I don't deserve these responsibilities unless I'm prepared to accept them. And so by accepting all the good and the bad that come together is super important, because 90% of business problems are personal problems in disguise. Whether you're doing $10 a year
totally
or whether you're doing 10 million a year, it doesn't matter. It's what happens out there doesn't care about you.
Good morning, good life. Welcome back to AMYTV, where we come together to help you go after the life you want. I'm very excited about this. I have been saving this gem of a video for you for a little while now. If you remember, I just took a vacation a little bit ago, a couple months ago, where I went to Italy. Got to drive all over the place in Italy. It was so much fun. And on one of my stops, my friend and great business mentor, Matthew Kimberley, came to visit me because he's just that awesome. I was like, hey, I'm gonna be in Italy. And he's like, I'll be right there. And so we sat together in Siena, Italy, and had a great conversation about what does it actually take to be somebody who is successful in business, who starts a business and takes it to the next level, who gets to the point where they beat the odds and they don't fail in those first critical years. So I wanted to share that conversation with you. So let's just jump on over, back in time and over the pond to Siena, Italy. I'm so excited to be sitting in Siena, Italy right now. I can't believe I'm even saying that. I'm making a video in Siena, Italy. Not only that, can't believe I'm gonna say that I'm sitting with one of my dear, dear, dear friends, Matthew Kimberley. Thank you so much for hanging out with me.
Well, thank you for having me. I couldn't be happier to be here.
Because you love me so much and you'll do whatever I ask.
I come to Siena, I'm like, when? That's the only question.
Exactly. Okay, so I wanted to chat with you because I think there's a lot of people today who are thinking about a business or are currently fully engaged in a business. Maybe they accidentally ended up there because of something that they chose to do online, whether it's become a thought leader or an author or influencer or something. But they're trying to figure out how to make it a sustainable business, which is actually really challenging, trying to figure out how to continuously make money and support yourself, stay creative, and keep the business going. What would you say it takes to be someone that goes into business, no matter how they're doing it creatively or otherwise?
Well, I think for a lot of creatives who start in business, they end up accidentally in business. And a lot of the people I hang out with will say they're creatives trapped inside an entrepreneur's body, and they're very interested in the creative side. And actually the business side is almost a necessary evil, or they get excited by the potential of the business side because, hey, fast cars, swimming pools, trips to Siena. But that's not actually where they naturally fall into the scope of how am I best expending my energy. And you can only get so far on creative energy alone.
Yeah.
Creative energy is the va-va-voomp, it's the drive, it's the, oh my God, I'm so excited I've got this project to work on, and you have all of this energy, and then you've got a few late nights, but you can power through, and then you find actually you can't quite power through and you crash. And so the difference between those who manage to sustainably maintain a creative business and people who do creative projects are those who are prepared to cater for the boring non-creative stuff, because vast tracts of business, despite what you have been told by dancers on Instagram, is boring. Vast amounts of business should be boring and predictable, because if you, the creative, want to have fun, to expand your creativity and work on these creative projects, you've got to make sure that there are back-end systems for people to buy your stuff. You've got to make sure that there are back-end systems for marketing your stuff. You've got to make sure that your customers are looked after. And all of this is the stuff that takes place in board meetings, where everyone is sitting around bored. So you need to identify the areas, and the best people, the people who do this the best, are those who say either, look, I'm not the right person for this, so therefore I'm going to put the right team around me, or those who are prepared for reward to come with responsibility. And there's a correlation between responsibility and reward rather than risk and reward. Creatives are natural risk takers, but they're not necessarily natural responsibility takers. Speaking from my own experience, I feel like a creative. So if you're
it's so fun to say I'm a creative. It's so fun to say I have to stay in my art and I have to focus on this thing, and then to just discount business like it doesn't matter. But then that's what keeps you up at night, is you're trying to stay creative and you like being in that zone, but you also need to figure out, okay, but then how is this actually going to make money? How is this going to continue to make money? And how is it going to be fun? So you kind of have to take the ego out of both sides.
Absolutely. And useful systems of patronage, like seeing as we're in Tuscany, it kind of disappeared with the Renaissance. The Pope would sponsor Michelangelo for his entire lifetime, but that's not going to happen today. You've got to be your own sponsor. You've got to go out and make sure that everybody does this for you. So no matter which stage of business you're at, whether you're just getting started or whether you've been doing it for 10 years and you're not feeling the love anymore at all, you're encountering new levels of I don't know what to do next. That's guaranteed. You're always encountering new levels of I don't know what to do next. And the problems that you faced 10 years ago are going to be completely different to the problems you face today. You're thinking about employees' issues. Maybe you're dealing with lawyers for the first time, or the second time, or the fifth time. Maybe you're thinking about insurance premiums. Maybe you're thinking about purchasing. Maybe you're thinking about financing. Maybe you're thinking about debt ratios and all of these things which when you were like, I'm going to be a graphic designer, or I'm going to be a Pinstagram influencer, these weren't questions that came to your head. So the important thing is that you have the right person with you at each step of the journey. And typically, nobody who's started a business has known how to do all the things, but they've been very good at identifying the right people to do the things with. And that's why things like cash flow management are so important. Because if you can't afford the person to do your books, then you're going to end up doing your books. And if you can't afford the person to clean your apartment, you're going to end up cleaning your apartment where you could be making fun things. So cash flow management, budgeting, being really careful and responsible for the revenue generation side of things at the beginning is going to allow you to put the systems in place with the right people as you continue to grow. And hanging around with the people who have got you this far isn't going to get you to the next step most frequently. I'm going to encounter problems, I don't know, $100 million problems I don't know how to solve. So I need to call somebody and say, hey, you have experience of solving $100 million problems. They'll be like, yep. Can we talk? Yep. But if you don't have those people on team and it's still your mother or your father who are saying, just go to sleep on it. Sleep on it. Go and take a break. Have a think about things that you're not going to
There's always a plan B. It's okay.
Exactly right.
Yeah. I love how you put that. I think I just had an aha moment in that. We know that when we go into business that there's going to be a struggle, but that's the story we've told ourselves. But actually framing it as the struggle always being in a state of I don't know what to do next, and there's always somebody that has done what you've done or needs to do what you've got to do or has done what you need to do, and being able to call on those people to be able to ask for help. That's been one of my biggest weaknesses, I've said since the beginning, is the ability to ask for help. So
the way you look at these challenges as well is super important. So I was speaking to one of my clients recently who's gone from nothing to something in a very short period of time, and she runs a creative agency with lots of employees. And at the stage now where there are one of her ex-employees is threatening to take them to court for unfair dismissal, which is going to happen to anybody who is prepared to take responsibility. They're going to reap not only the rewards, but also the risks associated with that responsibility. And then there's payroll issues, and there's, biggest want to fire the biggest client, but don't know how to say it because they're a great referral partner as well. And just problems that, basically all of your problems at that stage are dreams that you once had. And her approach, which is super fresh, is I feel powerful. I'm getting to deal with grown-up problems. It's almost like I don't deserve these responsibilities unless I'm prepared to accept them. And so by accepting all the good and the bad that come together is super important, because 90% of business problems are personal problems in disguise. Whether you're doing $10 a year or whether you're doing 10 million a year, it doesn't matter. It's what happens out there doesn't care about you. And only what happens up here affects how you respond and react.
And everyone thinks their problem is special. Which is how you get back to every business problem is somehow personal or egocentric. And I love that, Matthew.
Good.
Matthew, thank you. I think that really helped a few people who are thinking, am I able to do this? Am I able to keep doing this? Is this the right thing for me? And I think if you can continue to tell yourself that you still wouldn't go out and look for a job or work for someone else, then you're on the right track, and you're just saying every single day, I'm willing to take the problems that come my way and say, I get to fix them, I get to figure them out instead of I have to figure them out. And
if I want to make a quiche or a pizza and I don't know how to make a pizza, I'm calling a friend. I'm saying, how do you make a pizza?
Yeah.
He's going to say it's going to cost you a few beers, but come around and I'll show you.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, okay, because I've just solved 1,000 problems by the right people.
Love that. Okay, I want you to check out the description below, because Matthew's a very good friend of mine. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to business, specifically if your biggest struggle is not necessarily some of the things we talked about, but maybe it's just like, how do I get more clients? How do I get more business? How do I get more people to approach me to help me grow
my monetization, revenue streams, and things of that nature. You're going to want to check out what's in the description down below if you potentially want to work with Matt and me on solving these problems for you. Thanks for being here, Matt.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Oh, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. It was so fun to be able to like sit down and do a video. I know I was supposed to be on vacation, but it just felt right. It just felt good. And it was like back when I got to sit down with people and make content, like just really fun. And I thought he brought a lot of great information to the table. Make sure you check out all of Matt's information. I will link to it in the description. If you'd like more information about working with us, you can find that down there as well. That's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. As always, remember, subscribe for good vibes, kiss the ones you love, and go after the life you want. Cheers.
Well, thank you for asking me.
Stop making me laugh.
Okay, let's do it.
I haven't done this in a really long time.
Me too. Hang on. How do I look? My face
How do
okay?
I look? Yeah.
How many
really good.
bits?
No bits.
Okay. No, yeah.
No bits. No.
This is the B-roll.
This is the what we call outtakes.
You're going to slice it together at the end for a little bit of
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
Comic relief.
chop chop.